Nick Bosa is like the most expensive player on the team right now. He has an option bonus that's going to cost the Yorks $29 million on April 1st. He hasn't lived up to his contract the last 2 seasons. He's been good, not great. He is a good player, and I think he does have trade value. So Brandon Ayuk, you might get a 4th round pick. Debo, you got a 5th. Nick Bosa, could you get a 1st? Could you get a 1st plus? Would it be worth it? What do you think? Should they, could they, would they?
Yeah, I would do it. He's 27 years old right now. Okay. And honestly, he's kind of like right in that sweet spot of you could still kind of push off that he's still in the front end of his prime. Right. The biggest thing that I see with Nick is that we just got bigger fish to fry as far as actually getting another rush edge over on the other side of him. All right. We still have an entire defensive line to fill out on top of an O-line to fill out. And a lot of that has been tied up in his salary. I think that, us giving us 19 and a half sacks two years ago, yeah, that's cool. But for what he's done thus far, I just don't see it. I think that the Niners are in a position where if they're going to rip the Band-Aid off and really push forward, you can't like go in with a scalpel. Some things you're just going to have to rip right off and move on. So look, we got to move on from Nick. I don't necessarily see 30 plus. What is it? 32. I don't see $32 million a year being used viably. I don't get it. So yeah, if the nine, and then also he may have to be a casualty just from the simple fact that we blew all of those picks, which we still have to pay for the Trey Lance for the Trey Lance deal. Mm-hmm. All of those years without 1st round picks, we got to catch up. Got to get more guys, man. We're behind. Right now, the only thing that has kept us like in the fight right now, outside of us going to the Super Bowl last year, is name recognition. But those names are getting older, and we haven't talked about Joey, but yeah, please, no.
Well, we'll get to him in a second. The thing with Nick, I think, is interesting is like if the Niners are looking at this year as like a reset year, which that's the word Lynch used, reset, recalibrate. You have $65 million in dead cap and counting. It could be 100. You're clearly going to lead the league in dead cap. You have an easy schedule, but like if it's all about putting yourself in the best position possible for 2026, I mean, I can't think of a move that would really help them more than trading Nick Bosa. Like he could get you potentially multiple 1st round picks or a 1st and a 2nd, and that could set you up to have a really good young, cost-effective team in 2026. I mean, it'd be like the Lions trading Stafford. I mean, you could get a whole lot for Nick Bosa, and I mean, as good as he is, he's not as good as multiple defensive linemen.
He is the pick, though. If you look at it, Christian McCaffrey, you're not going to really field much for him coming off injury. Same thing with Trent. I wouldn't get rid of George at all. He's coming off arguably the best year of his career, and even all-world tight end such as himself, people would still underpay us. We wouldn't get the bang for our buck, and we would lose so much not having George on the roster. Nobody on offense is really tradable outside of Brock. I think our biggest trade pieces right now would be, I'm not ready to move on from Fred Warner. Fred Warner's a cornerstone player, so you don't move on from him. It's Nick Bosa and Brock Purdy. That's it. That's the only thing that would actually move the needle and get the Niners real picks, real assets.
I mean, if they traded Bosa, they'd instantly have 2 1st round picks this year and 2 1st round picks next year. Most likely.
Okay.
Would you get a 1st this year and a 1st this? I don't know. I mean, I think what you could do is get a 1st this year and a pick that's like conditional, like a 2nd that becomes a 1st if he has 13 sacks, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's a lot of a lot of teams that are like a player away that need like a Philly. They're looking for a guy. Washington again. Commanders they're looking for a guy to kind of fill out what they have on the D line. Cleveland.